Hello, this is Christine Petre. I am the Health Sciences and Information Literacy Librarian at Moravian College. I started here back in the spring of 2018, and in the fall of 2018, nurse faculty from the senior nurse research class approached me saying that they were going to revise their class and wanted to know if I'd be willing to work with them to teach information literacy, advanced lit search skills, support the different EBP initiatives that they were working on. And I was more than happy to do that. They were in the process of changing their class from a research study to a scoping review, and they wanted to emphasize more on those EBP methodologies. So we had met and we came up with some ideas of some things we wanted to do. They had decided that they wanted to follow the quality safety for nurses EBP competencies, and then I also wanted to try to map the objectives to the ACRL information literacy framework and also look at the information literacy competency standards for nursing. We had decided that I was going to do a library session, and it was going to be about 2 hours long, and I was going to focus on research skills, not only that they would use now for this research project, but also for when they graduate and go on to either grad school or a professional library or nursing position. I previously worked at a hospital library, and I worked very closely with the nurse residency program, and I found that there were so many nurses that came out of school and they just did not know how to do lit searches at all. So I wanted to make sure when our students graduate that they had the skills that they need to go forward. So we figured out what we wanted to do. We knew that if everything went well, that maybe we'd be able to get some either poster presentations or some articles out of this process. So we worked closely on that. We also decided that I would come in after they decided on the project that they were going to work on. So in the spring of 2019, the cohort started, and they come up with the question, what types of behaviors influencing health status in young adults have been reported? So that was the overarching question for the class, but then they broke out into 3 different teams. One focused on coping, one focused on substance abuse or use, and one focused on weight change. We had the library session, and once we started, I realized that some of the students were lacking even some of the basic lit search skills, how to use Ovid, how to use SINL, what is a subject heading, things like that. So I had to not only focus on the advanced search that I wanted to cover, I actually had to backtrack and cover some of those basic skills too. So that took a while. Another thing that faculty wanted me to do was to show them how to install Zotero. They wanted to use Zotero to track references. So then I had to not only show them how to install Zotero, I had to show them how they can export search results from the different databases and get them into Zotero, which took a lot of time. We also found that some of the students never upgraded their version of Office, so they were having trouble getting Zotero to work at all. So that all takes some time. After that, then we broke out into the 3 subgroups, and I kind of walked around and gave them suggestions for search terms and things like that. After the session was over, we found that some of the groups were still struggling with their search, so I actually had to come back in additional classes to cover their searches, try to figure out what they were searching for, and help the faculty become a little more comfortable with the searches that they were doing. Some of the things that we found out, obviously, faculty need some help with advanced search skills so they can reinforce what I cover in the class. I'm going to need to start scaffolding the skills so they get some things as a freshman, and by the time they get to this class, we don't have to cover some of the basic search skills. They'll already know those things. And we have to make sure that the different groups follow the search protocol that they've put in place and use the limiters consistently so that everybody's getting the same type of search across the different topics. I also had them fill out a feedback form at the end of the session, and I had great feedback. They really appreciated the session. I also covered things that I thought they would work for them when they leave Moravian, and if they don't have access to any subscribed resources, I showed some resources that are available for them. They wish they had a lot of this training, 4 years earlier, and different things like that. So we took that feedback, and then the next year we incorporated some of those changes. We cut back the session, made it a little shorter. We dropped Zotero. And we had different sessions throughout the semester so we could focus on the different pieces and provide more of just-in-time training for them to help them out. And then I created a research guide with the resources that were focusing on their project. And then I had them fill out the feedback form again. Once again, had some great feedback, and we're working towards making some tweaks again for next year. And hopefully we'll keep going. So thank you and have a good day.